Darci.
And I'm Kelly. And thanks for joining us for
And Another Thing,
where you talk about current events,
pop culture,
things we love,
things we don't,
all slathered in gobs of laughter,
and all the feels.
So grab a drink, sit back, and join us for
And Another Thing. Double the Kellys, double the fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, Thingies. Top of the morning to ya.
Hey.
You may notice we're a little bit up in our green. We
Little bit.
figured let's have an early St. Patrick's Day show because we have not one, we have two Kellys. So why not take advantage of the fact that we have two Kellys and do an Irish show?
Yes. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my longtime friend. I just was thinking the other night, you and I were like email pals on the Yahoo group, the
Okay.
Indie Girl Yahoo group,
Right.
a few years before I moved here.
Oh, wow.
So
We're going back.
we've known each other since basically 1998 or 1999.
And
Wow.
you are and were my favorite singer of all time.
Oh,
Even
whatever.
Even my husband thinks nobody can sing like Darci.
that
I
is so
gotta admit to
kind.
that. I gotta admit to that.
That
I'm a big
said,
fan.
you have the coolest voice. I love the timbre of your voice, especially when you're really getting into that bluesy stuff. We're gonna have her play, and her husband Perry is here.
Spoiler alert, we have
Off
a
the
treat
set.
for you.
Yes, our very first musical guest on our show. We're very excited.
In the Keldar studios.
Yes,
Oh, good.
the fancy Keldar Studios right
I
here.
like that name. Keldar. That's cool.
So let's go ahead and jump.
Yeah,
What were we
no, I was
say?
gonna say, so before we get into festivity and frivolity and
Yeah.
music, let's talk about some of the heavier stuff that's going on, because
Let's
there's
bring the room
plenty.
down a little.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
thumb it out a little.
Mhm.
Let's see, where do we start?
Where do we start?
What about the hags at the State of the Union address?
You know, I feel like not a show goes by where we don't have mentioned Marjorie Cray Taylor Greene.
Well, it's her own damn fault, seriously.
Seriously.
Don't do
and
this
Lauren
crap, we
Boebert.
won't have to talk about you.
Right. Well, here's what I understand is like they're shouting during the State of the Union address at the president, heckling the president like they're at a frickin' Flappers at 11:30 at night or
Kid
something.
Rock
It's a
concert.
comedy. Or a Kid
Surprised
Rock
they didn't pull
concert.
up their tops and show them their boobs.
Yeah. Did you watch it live?
Oh, it was just it was unbelievable what they did, and that's normal for them.
And when he
Yeah.
was talking about his dead son. I
I was
mean,
like,
there's
"Aw."
so many things to say about reading the room, bitches. Sorry, oops.
Yeah. Well, the defense was they didn't know he was going to talk about him, but that's.
Oh, because any other time in the State of the Union is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I don't understand. I feel like this heckling the president started with Obama.
With the
With the "you lie,"
You
whoever said "you
lie, yeah.
lie,"
Oh, right.
and then, but I don't recall. And I could be wrong. If anybody remembers, please correct me. But I don't think Democrats were heckling Trump. I don't say his real name, just FYI.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't recall any
and
incidents
it's
like that.
possible it could have, but I don't remember it either. And I certainly don't remember blatantly standing up
Yeah,
and getting all, trailer trash in the president's face.
and that's absolutely what these girls are. Sorry, not sorry. They are trailer
Actually, I think that
trash.
insults people who live in mobile home parks.
Could be.
There are genuinely fine people who live in trailer
That's
parks.
true.
They are not them.
45 just made it okay to be like that. That's the thing. Is like Perry always said. My husband said, it's not a good thing that Trump has given everybody the permission to be like this because. And I was always thinking, well, if we get it out, then we can solve it. But Perry's like, nope. You get it out. Now you've made it okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that because there was also just a string of like 8 Asian women in New York got attacked within the matter of like 2 hours.
Oh,
and they
Oh
found
my
the guy.
gosh.
And I was sitting there with my sometimes roommate. I have a roommate who just lives with me 2 weeks out of the month. And we were sitting there watching there and he said, Trump made that okay. Trump made that okay. That. So, yeah. Anyway.
And I want to go back to a state, like, here's the thing. If Lindsey Graham is shushing you in the State of the Union address, then you're really doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Put a
You
pin
know?
in that because I never thought I would agree with Lindsey Graham, even though it was a horrible tweet.
I couldn't find the
Lindsey
tweet. Did he
Graham
delete it?
tweeting.
What did he tweet?
He deleted it, but there are screenshots. He said, isn't there a Brutus in Russia? Isn't there somebody who could go after Putin? Where's the person who could take... Anyway, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But when Lindsey Graham is making sense, this world is going to hell in a handbasket.
Oh.
But go back to what you were saying about, when Lindsey Graham is shushing you.
Yeah, Lindsay's like telling these girls to pipe down. Because the thing is, it's like, you know what? You don't have to agree with the president. And I would say this to any Democrat that'd be heckling a Republican president.
Exactly.
You need to respect the hallowed halls in which you sit and let him talk about what he's doing, has accomplished, what his agenda is going to be. You just should have a modicum of respect for the fact that you're a public servant selected by the people, and therefore you need to show some freaking class.
Paid by the people.
Being paid by the people.
We pay you to
And I
heckle
don't
the
pay you.
president.
We don't pay them to heckle the president.
Well, I'll tell you,
We pay them to work.
I took that way too far. The first year and a half of 45's presidency, I kept quiet. I was like, let's see what happens. He's been elected, all that, and I kept quiet. And
I think a lot of people
it was
did, but let's see
45's
what happens.
own words that turned me. I didn't get it out of CNN, MSNBC. It was his own words that turned me.
Kelly, I couldn't agree with you more. One of the reasons we started this too is I was a little more conservative when we first started this,
Oh, there you go.
and we would talk politics, and I was a lot more conservative. 45 changed that for me.
Me too.
The vitriol, just the horrible things he said, and the people who follow him, and as yes men.
And what
And
the
women.
party has become, the Republican Party, like I was raised a Reagan Republican in an evangelical household. And so I will go to my grave claiming myself an independent. But
Right, I'm a moderate, I feel. Yeah.
But the more crap the Republicans do and the more horrible things they say and the more dictators they get behind, I'm just like, and the more rights they try to take away from citizens who already have those God-given rights, if you want to bring God into it, I'm just like, I can't, I never thought I'd consider myself just a flat-out liberal, but I'm getting close because I just
and
can't.
like Kelly said, it's their own fault.
Yes.
I don't understand, and my brothers are both Republicans, and my father was a Republican, and my mother, I switched her before she died.
Yeah, most of my family are still conservatives.
But I can't imagine you being proud of this party as it is right now. I can't imagine any Republican who could stand up and say, yes, good for them for yelling at the president.
I'm not going to say that because who knows who's watching. I'm going to reel that back into
sure
my big fat mouth.
Well, I know there are people because if I let myself go down the rabbit hole of the tweets.
Well, yeah, and the family members and the friends and all the ones I have, because I have a lot of those too as well. They just say, Kelly, don't listen to Donald Trump. I'm like, don't listen to him. He's the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Don't listen to
What do
him.
you mean don't listen to
Give me
him?
a break. Don't listen to him.
We don't have that luxury
Sorry, I'm writing
anymore.
too bad again.
I'm sorry, it's okay. This is why we do this show.
Exactly.
We regurgitate. We leave it on you.
I'm gonna have a heart attack right now.
I know. We'll have. This is
that's
why
why
we do
we
the
drink.
fun stuff in
No,
our
yeah,
why
no.
we drink and why we wait for the fun stuff.
And Ukraine, what's going on in Ukraine? It's like
there
it's
we
so
go.
hard. I put a meme up last night that was against Trump, and I took it down because I don't want it to be about that right now. It's like it feels like Ukraine is something that what are you guys feeling about that?
Well, that's an interesting thing before we get into Ukraine, because I'm from Ukraine. My grandfather emigrated to this country from the Ukraine, so I am directly Ukrainian.
Wow.
Don't think I knew that.
I did not know that.
But before, let's put a pin in that because we have a lot to talk about.
Okay.
But when do you pull it down? When do you let your friends have a nice discourse on your, when does it get to the point where you're like, okay, my friends they're gonna say something horrible. Do you pull it down? Do you, I've hidden some friends' comments before to not upset them. They think they're still up there, but I don't let my other friends see it. When do you guys decide that enough is enough, they're fighting too much on my page?
Well, we just said something to each other before you got here about we were feeling divisive. Because we don't want to add to the divisiveness, but you also need to speak out.
Right.
So it's the balancing act of not being part of the divisiveness, and I don't think that they would listen to me anyway. So,
Right.
but you can't keep quiet. So what do you do?
Because I posted something the other day and I had a couple of my Republican friends and they were actually pretty nice about it. Just, saying, just filling in some facts and then one went off and I was like, oh, do I pull that? Do I pull the whole thing down? And then nothing came of it. So I didn't. I left it as it was. But I have pulled stuff down when I feel like my friends are not being nice to each other anymore.
I generally will slide in and go, keep it civil, guys.
Yeah, I will too.
Open. Debate is good, but there will be no name calling here, or I will delete your post and possibly block you. And if they don't stop, then I come in and I go, stop it now.
Yeah.
And I think most people don't, because I love a good debate. My sister jokes that I should have been a litigator, but I don't want to call anybody names, and I don't want anybody to feel humiliated necessarily. And there are some cases where I do want to humiliate.
But all those
them.
people
I'm not gonna lie.
are adults. They're all adults. You don't need to protect anybody. I'll never forget when I had something happen on one of my posts. People going back and forth, back and forth. I got a text from a friend, no longer really a friend, that said, "I can't believe you don't go in and defend so and so." And I go, "She's got her big girl pants on, and she went in there and she knew what she was doing."
See, that's how I feel too.
Okay, so I don't really do defend or try to protect. They all know what they're doing.
Yeah. I cut it with the name calling because I'm like,
too.
look, I will give you, especially if I disagree with them, I'm like, I will give you all the rope you need to hang yourself.
Yeah.
I am happy to let you do it. I don't have to do it. Everybody sees you're being a fool.
Yes.
You can just wallow in that and show yourself as your true colors. But the name call, that's where name calling, especially if it's a family member and they don't know it. I'm like, that's my mother.
Exactly.
Shut your mouth.
That's
Exactly.
different. I agree with that.
So, what do you guys feel like?
Yeah,
Please let us know. When do you pull it? Do you just say, like Kelly's like, they have their big girl pants on, they can fight it out themselves? When do you pull a post that you think is getting a little too much? Or do you? Okay, so now the Ukraine.
Now the Ukraine.
I just give them so much credit for just staying the course and, man, the little mouse that could. And
What scrappers, right? They are scrappers. And can we just a little praise on President Zelensky, please, who does not have bone spurs.
Swoon. I am in love with him.
And what a great, I didn't even know this until I watched the SAG Awards the other night, that he was a comic.
He was a comedian and actor.
He was a comedian and an actor before.
Playing a president.
Playing the president, yeah.
Something like that.
And then he comes in and shows that, just because I'm an artist doesn't mean A, my opinion isn't qualified, and B, that I can't do this job. So, solidarity from these three carnies, President Zelensky.
I loved when we offered him and his family safe passage out, and he said, "I don't need a ride, I need ammunition." Yes, that is badass.
And his family staying there too. That is huge to me. That his family, he could fly his wife and kids out, but they're like,
she's ready to fight.
Yeah. And
there's a lot of women who have stayed to fight.
Miss Ukraine and her
I didn't see that.
Fatigues and Miss Ukraine, of course, looking stunningly beautiful in fatigues and holding a rifle. But her and this little grandfather that showed up
with his satchel,
with his little satchel, looked like he had lunch for a few days and an extra pair of pants, and he's like, "I want to fight for my grandkids," and I'm like, "What?"
And then I saw a thing on World News Tonight the other night that all the big artist colony, they're like weavers and painters, they're making camouflage. They're all weaving camouflage in this big art studio. That's all they're doing right now is these artists
to wear
and to cover tanks and to big acres worth of camouflage. They're weaving from cloth and stuff.
It's amazing.
I know. I'm getting chills.
Just amazing. I know. It's like, and the thing is, the whole world is on their side.
They're saving the world.
Because I have to tell you, I was going to say,
saving the world.
You're right. If Ukraine goes down, the rest of Europe.
But they're also saving the world in the sense of, they're frustrated that we're not going and doing the no-fly zone and all that. Because, but Russia is saying that they will start World War III or attack us if we do that. So in a way, we are kind of, what do we do? What do we do? And so Ukraine, in the end of the day, is saving the world.
I think so too.
It's a very delicate balance, because I'm sorry, put a pin in that, honey, just real quick. Because I also want to say Ice-T tweeted something where he said, if we shoot one bullet at one Russian, America is at war with Russia.
Correct.
And that cannot happen. Because basically, there's your World War III. Yeah. So anybody who is bitching that Biden's not being strong enough by squeezing their financial testicles, which we're doing very well, I might add.
They need to do more. They need to take all the banks out of the Swiss system.
And they will, methodically one by one. But if we cannot go in guns a-blazing. We can't.
See, I agree.
Or they will blow us up.
You're right. My first reaction to the to not protecting the no-fly zone was like, oh, come on. But then I thought about it, and it's like, they want us to protect the no-fly zone. And that will cause World War III.
Yeah.
And Putin will say that we started it.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he'll always
say that. Because narcissists never take the blame, do they?
Yeah,
for their own
we have
crap.
a little experience in that country.
A little bit,
right?
A little bit. So I
still want to know what Putin has on Trump. I mean, aside from the golden shower tapes of him and a Russian prostitute, there's got to be something. Well, you follow the money. It's gonna. It's there.
Well, there's a question too. Do you guys think if God forbid he had a second term, that gave me the willies. Do you think?
Did you have to say that out loud?
How do you think this would be playing out right now if he was squatting in the White House?
Trump would be doing anything he could. He would be on the desk underneath Putin right now, delivering favors. While he's got the hand on the red button.
He would probably help him take Ukraine.
I think so. He even said that. I mean, he bought into the whole Ukraine's the enemy thing while he was in office. Yeah.
Well, if you remember, the perfect phone call was denying Ukraine military aid in exchange for dirt on Biden's son.
Yep.
So I think, I watch the View every day, even some
his
days
own
I have
words
to type
again.
it.
His own words.
His own words. And Whoopi Goldberg's like, he just sold him the country. He just handed it over.
100%.
And I do think so too. No, we wouldn't be in this mess, but we'd be in the middle of watching the Soviet Union come back is what we'd be watching.
And what kills me is that, the other side or people that are, behind Trump would say that we're crazy, that we say all these things, we go with feelings. We are basically saying all this because of Trump's own words.
Yep.
Let's not forget that. So don't try to
And
say,
his
oh, no, that's not
actions.
true. That's his actions and his
When someone
own
shows
words.
you who they are, believe them.
Exactly.
Maya Angelou.
And how often does somebody post a tweet of Trump's from 8 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago, and it doesn't hold up?
Yep.
I mean, he just talks out of both sides of his ass, and yeah.
So sad.
Yeah.
So sad that people we know have gone down that rabbit hole and they really are lost.
Some really intelligent people
Yes,
too.
very.
That's what I
Oh,
can't
and I
understand.
have
How do you
people
not
who are-
see it? How
And
do you
I
not?
have,
Sorry.
no, you
Are you rewinding that like I just rewound
Go,
a minute ago?
go.
No. I'm just saying I don't know how people can't see it. I don't know how they cannot see that he's a menace to society. I
was
don't
gonna
get it.
say I have friends that I loved just who are Q and still are Q when Q has been found to not be even Q. Q is a guy behind a computer with a.
Is he in his mommy's basement? Probably.
I have friends who are so cute, and you just don't know because this is all going to plan. And Biden hasn't been in the White House for 2 years. This is all a sham. It's
all fake. The thing is, a lot of them
And
don't
they
even know.
believe it.
A lot of them don't even know that what they believe has come from the QAnon garbage because now they pick it up at a certain point in the narrative,
Right.
and they don't know that it originated with all this
And
Q
Q is
conspiracy
some
theory
guy
stuff.
living in Bangkok thinking this is hilarious.
He needs to.
Anyway,
sorry,
Don't be
Jesus.
Lindsay.
Don't be Lindsay.
Please, everybody, let us know.
Yeah.
Probably on podcasts, you can't leave as many questions or your feelings, but please follow us on Facebook. We want to know how you feel about this. If you think we're wrong, please. And again, have an intelligent discourse, and we will listen to you. And please let us know how you feel about that. And if you are not already following us everywhere you possibly can, please follow us.
Yes.
And Kel, do you have a place where they can follow your band?
Yeah, kellyslot.com or kellyslot.com. Because because there's no apostrophes in websites.
That's
There
true.
you go. There you go.
We're gonna keep popping up her information throughout the
Yeah.
show here.
Yeah.
And,
So I just, as I was, pimping us out, I wanted to pimp Kelly out too.
yes,
But yes, please follow us wherever you can. And I think for a gloomy Saturday afternoon, I don't know where it is where you are, but it's not Saturday, it's Monday. Oops. Oops, the magic of television.
I did think this was live until like yesterday. Perry thought it was live too.
Anyway, in case you're wondering why we're not so lit up, it's very dreary. It looks like it's going to rain any minute. However, I think we have enough gloom and doom for the day.
we
Yeah.
do.
Let's do something fun. Hey, Thingies, so again, enough gloom and doom. Let's move on to my very fancy notes that I have on my phone.
I don't even have no.
So, we wanted to have some fun St. Patrick's Day, and I know in our St. Patrick's Day shows of past, I've given you facts like St. Patrick wasn't born in Ireland, he was kidnapped and brought there, and there were really no snakes in Ireland, all of that. But this time I've got other stuff.
Okay.
Up until the 1960s, St. Patrick's Day was actually a dry holiday, and bars were not open.
What?
It was a day when Irish people went to church and spent with their families.
Saint.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the Irish Americans who started
ruined
drinking,
everything.
and that is when, in the 70s, Ireland finally made it more of a festive holiday and not as much of a religious holiday.
Wow.
And
Right.
corned beef and cabbage is absolutely not an Irish thing. It's from Irish American New Yorkers who used to buy old corned beef when ships would come into port. That was the last thing that they could get from the ships.
Wow.
So yeah, corned beef and cabbage, completely not Irish.
Completely white trash is what you're saying.
I happen to love it, but yes.
Down with it. Yeah.
In the course of one day in the United States, not even counting Ireland, there are 13 million pints of Guinness that are poured on
Whoa.
St. Patrick's Day.
That sounds good.
And Americans, again, not the Irish, we spend $6 billion on bar tabs on St. Patrick's Day.
Kelly's
Doing
husband
our
just
part.
raised his hand
We're
over
doing
there.
our part to support the
I wonder
bar
how
industry.
many whatever pints are thrown up is what I want to know.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
How much of that
lot.
is wasted is what I want
Have
to
you
know.
ever got sick from St. Patty's Day?
No, for a long time it was a work day. It was you go
Okay.
and play in the band and stuff like
Oh,
that. So it was
right.
like
Okay.
when I stopped doing that, I just was like, I don't want to go to a bar. A bar feels like work for me.
Right.
You know.
Gotcha.
I
So-
used to, when I was in my 20s, I'd go out, because again, like being a Kelly on St. Patrick's Day, we'd say,
Mhm.
oh, let me buy you a drink.
Yeah.
Right, that's true. That is true.
I got the tab.
I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I went, when I was dating that guy, Matt, I went to, because a friend of mine owns a bar, and she's like, oh, I'll get you a table. And I'm like, well, that seems like, anyway, but no, I don't usually go out on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Okay, two things I love. It takes 40 pounds of green vegetable dye to dye the Chicago River green each year. And they use vegetable dye so it doesn't, stain anything, and it doesn't harm the
Good.
fish.
I've wondered about
Although
that.
I wonder how many fish are actually still in the Chicago River. But okay.
Yeah. 40
And how many-
pounds? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, he wrote it in a pub in Dublin.
Oh.
He was a civil servant, and he would go on his breaks and after work and sit and drink and write this little book.
I love that.
So in case you wonder
Me
about
too.
Dracula and like, where'd you figure this out? He's like knocking back some of those Guinness pints.
Oh, funny. I used to write
Um,
songs with a friend in a bar in Nashville. We would just go and get pints again. Guinness? Gerst. Nope, it was Gerst.
Okay.
Which is a very red amber beer. I'm not a beer drinker.
I was just
but
gonna say, I've
love
never
this.
seen you drink a beer in my entire life, and I've seen
No.
you drink.
Yeah,
And you
Yes,
don't
you
drink hard
have.
liquor at all either. I've just
very
seen,
rarely. But yeah, there was Gerst is a local kind of red amber beer in the Nashville region. I think they actually make it in
sounds
Indiana.
good.
And on tap, it's really good. And we would just sit there and just
sounds
drink
good.
beers and write songs. And it was a very eclectic group of
That's the
patrons.
best.
There were
I love that.
super fancy dancies, and it was kind of a mixed straight and LGBTQ kind of, it was like, to me, it was the perfect bar because
That's
everybody was just hanging and being themselves, straight or gay or otherwise, and
Sounds good.
we
That's
would
how I
write songs.
felt about Chicago. The bars in Chicago were like, it was just mixed. You'd have like, you know, the upside people, you'd have gay, straight, trans, bikers, you know, comedians after their show, and it was great.
Yeah.
And we were all hanging out. Anyway, so I'm gonna leave you on this segment with the last thing. And I like a lot of Irish sayings, but this one I came across today in my research is my favorite. Don't you break your shin on a stool that was never supposed to be in your way.
Oh, that is brilliant. I have to
Do
think
we
on
make
that.
our
I
own
need to
problems?
agree.
I
Yes.
think we
I think
do.
we do.
Right over my head.
I love it.
Say it again.
Don't you break your shin on a stool that was never supposed to be in your way to begin with.
Wow. Got to unpack that one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So listen
so
to that.
those are my my St. Patrick's Day
I love
facts
it.
and stuff.
Nice.
So now we have quite the treat. Yes.
Yes. She's got,
Oh.
wait, she's got a great
Oh, you have a story about playing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of a story about getting old.
We don't know anything about that here.
No,
Nothing.
not
We
at
don't
all.
whine about it
Oh,
ever.
It's just the last couple of years we the band Kelly's Lot, my band has played on the float, on a float, for the St. Patty's Day parade that
Oh,
goes through
fun.
Ventura, right? So
I
we
love Ventura. Do you live there?
Oh, we have a place in Oxnard, so
Oh,
we're there
nice.
a lot.
Oh, I
yeah.
love that.
Love to have you guys come out for a visit.
Done.
Okay.
What
great.
time is it now?
And so we, I played that float, and we've had all kinds of fun on it, but it's on a flatbed, right? And so I, of course, I'm a drama queen, a bit of a drama queen, and
You are not.
yes, I am. Oh,
You're the most chill person
No,
I know.
I'm not, Darcy.
Okay.
Perry.
I'm looking at her.
Am I a drama queen or what? So I had this outfit on, and this also has pants of the same, and I wore it.
You can see it in her music
Yeah,
video.
it's true, the Irish luck. And I wore it, the last time we played, which was 2019, because it was canceled in 20. And so I was wearing this outfit, and it just brought out even more of the drama queen. So I was literally jumping off the flatbed, jumping back on the flatbed when we went by the judges, because we had won the year before, and I wanted to win again. And so I was singing the song that the band was playing on the flatbed, smashing my knees and couldn't hardly get up. I'm just saying that I felt like so. But the drama queen won.
Rock and roll.
The drama queen won, and we won, and but
Nice.
And when you wear an outfit like this, how can you not? That's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm going to say one thing I love about clothes, and I never really embrace this, but when you wear fun clothes, it just helps you to be more fun.
100%.
I never realized
100%.
that because I've always worn black.
Yes.
So you know what I mean? I've always been that
Yes,
girl.
I know what you mean.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
And I'm such
Big
a
girls are
tomboy,
always in
right?
black.
Right. So it's 2 t-shirts and jeans, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's usually my whole outfit, right?
It could change your whole
It
day.
really
Like,
does.
You feel like,
So
hey.
wear colors.
Yes.
That's all.
I remember one
Always
time.
looking for color.
You always are. I'm
Oh, I
always
really
right.
try.
This is so out of my. We talked about this on the show, but I remember one time my boyfriend was like, "Why do you always wear black?" I'm like, "Cause it's slimming." And he goes, "People know you're fat. You might as well pick colors you like." And at first I was like, and then I was like, "You're right. That was actually a
true.
compliment."
It's not
He
like you're
wasn't-
suddenly
and
not
it's-
going to know I'm fat because I'm wearing
He
black.
was already sleeping with me, so it's not like he didn't know what all was coming. But
It's kind of like when you have a zit on your face, and you try to, when you're talking to people, you kind of like, you're looking away because you think they should still see the zit on your face. So look at him in the eye. It's
Right,
like, that's
Yeah.
a very small example of what you just said.
yeah, I just do it for ease at this point. It's
Yeah.
like black pants, black top. Black pants up top with a little bit of black,
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
Colors
agree.
is, look at this
It
jacket.
is.
Yeah.
I love that. And
And
that's
I
like one of my favorite colors of green, too.
And I think it
Me
really
too,
did
like
give me
that
the
sagey
power
green.
to be the drama queen. Like
So
I
how
said.
many days
Yeah.
did it take you to recover, though?
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I want to know.
Probably a good week.
Yeah. My friend and student Levi won himself a Tony for playing Jerry Lee Lewis on Broadway in $1 Million Quartet. But the thing is, he he was with the show from the table read. So they did like a Chicago run and the whole, like they moved, you know, and he had blown out both his ACLs by the time they even got to Broadway.
Yeah, and then I think we talked about it on the show too. One of my friend's sons ended up playing that on a tour for a while, and he's, you know,
It's a rough job.
he's
It
like
makes me
25,
wonder.
and he had to like,
What Jerry Lee Lewis, how broken was that man's body by the time he passed away?
Well, it was pickled, so he didn't
That's true.
feel it.
That's true.
Are
But
you
anyway.
a musician, Kelly? You are, right? You're a musician as well?
I'm not. I sing,
Okay,
but
singer.
yeah.
So you all know that when you're singing,
It's an
I think-
actor.
Yeah. So when you're singing, you just there's this extra energy that you get from and you sometimes your body doesn't follow your voice.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Totally.
acting. See,
Yes.
I can be on stage and, you know, well, not to give secrets away, right now I have to use a walker because of my hip. I can be on stage and I can perform and I get off stage and I collapse. But on stage, the adrenaline takes over and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Absolutely.
wow, we have gone all over the place like we usually do. I've had the best time having
This has been so
another
much
Kelly
fun.
in the house.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of
We're
course,
so
it was fun.
excited. You're only our second guest ever.
Who was the first?
Our intern,
Mark.
Okay.
We've had him on. He's also a musician. He's putting an album out soon, and we'll,
Oh my
you know.
gosh, if you haven't, hopefully you've seen some of his stuff. We got to give something out to him too.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Is he still your intern?
Yes.
Good.
And my student, actually. He's
Good.
one of my students.
Okay.
But anyway, we wanted to, he's the one who's responsible for getting us to be a podcast. He's been off after me for at least a solid couple of years going,
thank
you need to
you.
be a
And I
podcast.
do
So-
have to
you.
say to
Yeah.
all of you people who are just listening, not watching, you have really boosted us because we hear from people all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to watch you, but I listen to you every Tuesday on my way to work, or I listen to you on
Yeah.
Monday night. So we appreciate you.
We very much appreciate you guys so much. And if you liked this, tell a friend. Give us a review on the iTunes.
Absolutely, and if you didn't like it, keep your freaking pie hole shut and
That's
don't
what we
tell
like to
anybody.
say. We don't care if you don't like us.
Yes. So we have such a treat coming
Yes.
up. So refill your drink,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a treat coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly's Lot.
Thank you, girls. The song is got an Irish flavor to it, but it's for Ukraine. No walls can hold me like your arms, no light to start my day. No answer will bring me peace, I cannot see the way. So come home to me, come home. No rules will ever guide me, no hands to hold me close. No freedom will find me, it's you I need the most. So come home to me, come home to me, come home. This shattered heart is waiting for you to walk through that door. I'll wait forever. There's nothing more. No grace will give me solace. This hunger will not heal. No fear will ever wash away this emptiness I feel. So come home to me, come home to me, come home. This shattered heart is waiting for you to walk through that door. I'm waiting forever. There's nothing more. I'll lay myself beside you in a dream that never ends. In a world that is safe and warm, together once again. We'll be home. We'll be home. We'll be home. God, that is amazing.
Thank you.